Assalamu alaikum. We are from Group 5 and we will be presenting our group project, the calculator program. So here are our group members. Okay, so for the introduction, what is a calculator? A calculator is a portable electronic device used to perform calculations, ranging from basic arithmetic to complex mathematics. So some history of the calculator is as seen here. In the 1960s, the first solid-state electronic calculator was created. In the 1970s, pocket-sized devices became available. In 1986, the calculator represented an estimated 41% of the world's general-purpose hardware capacity to compute information. But by 2007, this had diminished to less than 0.05%. So in this project, we will create a calculator program using assembly language from one menu that contains the functions for addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, power, mean of a set of numbers, and median of a set of numbers while considering the calculation for both signed and unsigned integers.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurliana binti Abdul Aziz and my metric number is 1200546. Okay, now I'm going to present about my group calculator program for 7 different functions. And my group is group 5. Okay, and now I'm going to explain about our project objectives. First, to create a calculator program using assembly language from one menu. Second, to make sure that the calculator program includes almost all the functions needed, which are addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, power, mean of a set of numbers, and median of a set of numbers. And last but not least, to insert the calculation for both unsigned and signed integers, positive and negative integers for the calculator program. Okay, now I'm going to move to our calculator program codes. First and foremost, I'm going to explain about our type of integer. This is our type of integer code. Okay, let me just debug first. As soon as I debug, the console show please choose whether to calculate with unsigned 1 or signed 2 integers 1 or 2. So first we need to choose whether we want to calculate with unsigned or signed integers. So now I'm going to choose 1 for unsigned. And here is the my menu function for our group calculator program. First, it will pop up the welcome to group 5 calculator program, and then it will list all the functions that are included in our calculator program. First, we have addition, subtraction, multiplication, and so on. So we also have go back to choose integer type and exit. Okay. For the code of the type of the integer, you can see here type of integer, label type of integer, and this is all the codes. It's inside the main procedure, and this is prompt user to choose to calculate with unsigned or signed integers. So if you choose 1, so you will jump to functions unsigned, and if you choose 2, we will jump equal to function signed. And then next, for example, if I want to go back to choose integer, so I will choose number 8. So enter, and then it will go back to the message where the system will ask, please choose whether to calculate with unsigned or signed integers again. So now we can choose again what we want to calculate with. So now I'm going to choose 2 for signed integers. That will, the my menu function will come out again. Okay, so for the my menu function codes, this is all the codes from here to here, function sign. Okay, that is all. Briefly, there is 2 main label. First one is functions unsigned, and the second label is function sign. For these two labels, for the label functions unsigned, inside the label functions unsigned, there is a main one procedure. Whereas inside the main one procedure, there will be codes to output the title and author. Welcome banner, that is this one. And then list all the functions available, which is all this. And prompt choose any functions, which is this one, 1 to 9. And then from here on, there will be compare instruction where the program will ask the user to choose any functions that they want. There are 9 choices altogether. So for choice number 1, we will use this instruction that will move register EAX to choice, and we compare 1 with EAX, yes with 1, and if EAX is equal to 1, then it will jump equal to addition function unsigned. And then jump not equal, it will go to choice 2, and then choice 2. For choice 2, we will go to subtraction function unsigned. For choice 3, multiplication function unsigned. Choice 4, division function unsigned. Choice 5, power. Choice 6, main function. Choice 7, median function. Choice 8, for the type of integer, which is the number 8, go back to choose integer type. And number 9 is for end program. There is exit. And then we will go to the label function sign, where is inside it there is main to procedure, and inside the main to procedure is also the same as the label functions unsigned. This is to output the title and author, list of functions available, prompt choose any functions, and then compare, and then it will jump to addition function sign, subtraction function sign. Just then it is for unsigned, and for here it is for sign. Yeah. And choice 8 and choice 9 is just the same. Except the choice 9, if jump not equal to 9, choose error will go to message 1, which is different from here. This is just error message only. Okay, that is all for the main menu function.
Alright, so for the addition function, there are two parts for this addition function, which are for unsigned and signed integers in this coding. Each has their own labels, which are addition function unsigned and addition function signed, respectively. Both labels take 2 integers each. The coding is divided cleanly into parts with different commands sequentially. 5 parts to be exact. Okay, so for the first part here, you can see the output, the title first, and then the second part is for the prompt for the first number. The third part is prompt for the second number. The fourth part is add the two numbers using the EAX registry. And the last part here is print the total to the console. This is the same as for the addition function signed. Okay, it's the same. Then when you're done, you put in NP at the end to end the program. Now for the program output, this is how it looks like when we debug the program. Okay, so first we choose to calculate signed or unsigned. So 1 or 2, 1 for unsigned, 2 for signed. So for the first picture is for unsigned. So press 1 for unsigned and then pick the first one, type 1 for addition calculation. Then we key in the first and second number here, as in the example 34 for the first number and 67 for the second number, and the result of the calculation is 101 as displayed there. For the second picture is for the signed integer, so number 2. Then again type in number 1 for addition, then input the first and second number. The first number here is negative 786, the second number is 234. So how it is displayed here is negative 786 plus positive 234 equals negative 552. That's the result.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Kushafia Hasha binti Kushairan. Metric number 1200599. I will present the subtraction function in our calculator. Okay, firstly, when you run the program, the first thing that will appear is please choose whether to calculate with unsigned or signed integer. If you want to calculate the unsigned, choose 1. And then the menu will appear. Choose what operation do you want. For subtraction, it's number 2. So choose number 2 and then enter the first number, enter the second number, and it will print the mathematical equation 567 minus 543 equal to 24. And then press number 8 to go back to choose integer type. For signed integer, choose number 2 and then the same menu will appear. For subtraction, choose number 2 and then enter the first integer and the first number and second number with the sign whether plus or minus, and then the mathematical equation will appear. This is the code for the subtraction function. Firstly, for unsigned, we name it subtraction function unsigned, and then output the title. This will print the title for subtraction function unsigned. Firstly, prompt and then prompt for the first number. This will ask the user to enter the first number. Secondly, prompt for the second number. This will ask the user to enter the second number. And then subtract the two numbers using the EAX registry. This is where the process of the subtraction happening. And then print the total to the console. This will print a mathematical equation based on the number the user enter. Plus print number 1, print the subtract sign, print number 2, and then print the equal signs, and then print out the total. This is the answer from the subtraction, and then the user will get a mathematical equation based on the number they enter. And then subtraction of x and p. This will end the process. The same thing will happen for the signed integer.
Next, we will move to multiplication function. Okay, for multiplication function, there are two types of multiplication function, which is multiplication function for a signed integer and multiplication function for unsigned integer. Okay, and then this is the label, and then under the label, inside the label, there is a multiplication function procedure, and for the label of multiplication function sign, under it is multiplication function 2 procedure. And then for the multiplication function unsigned, first we output the title, and then we go to prompt for the first number, and then we go to prompt for the second number, and then we'll multiply the two numbers using the EAX registry, which is the calculation, and then we'll print the answer to the console. Okay, now let me show you. First, we need to choose. So we'll choose unsigned, and then I will choose 3 multiplication, and then I will choose number 3, And number 4. This is for unsigned integer. And then 3 multiplied by 4 is equal to 12. Okay, and then I will go back to, I will use 8, and then we go back to choose integer type. And that will use a signed integer. And then I use number 3. And then I add negative 3 and negative 2. So I will get negative 3 multiplied by negative 2 equals to positive 6. Okay, now I will do it again. I will use both positive integer and negative integer, negative 3 and 2. So we get the answer negative 3 multiplied by positive 2 equal to negative 6. Okay. Now I set system. Okay. And as for the code, as I explained before, you will put the title and prompt the first number, second number, and then it will do the calculation, and then it will print the answer to the console. And then the demo just now, the multiplication function for sign, it will output the title also, and then it will prompt the first number, the second number, and then we do the calculation using IMAL. For the unsigned, we use mul only func instruction. And for the sign, we use the IMAL instruction. And that will print the answer to the console. And that's the end of the multiplication function. Thank you.
My name is Ahmad Fazal bin Muhammad, metric number 1200536. I will present for the division part. As for the division function, there are two parts of this, which are unsigned integer and signed integer. Each has their own labels, which are division function unsigned and division function signed respectively. Both labels take 2 integers each. So for this, for the division function unsigned, for this part, output the title, it will be output the division function unsigned. And for this part is for the user to key in the number, which is num1 and num2. And next, for this part, we used to divide the two numbers using the EX registry, and we use div instruction for unsigned integer division. And if there are no errors, this will print the output for the division that have been input by the users. And for the division function signs, they are the same except for this part, which is we use idiff for division for signed integer. Next, for the output of the system, user need to choose whether 1 or 2, which is 1 is for unsigned integer and 2 for signed integer. And for this case, the user will input 1, and next the user need to choose 4 for division function, and the user can input first number and second number, which for this example is 60 divided by 5, and the result as shown is 12. And after that, the user can choose 8 to go back to choose the integer type. And as you can see, for this example, user choose 2, and next continue to choose 4 for division, but this time is for unsigned integer, which the user can use negative sign. So for this example, like this, negative 10 divided by 2, and print the result, which are negative 5.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Amir Haikal Muhammad Ramli. My metric number is 1200549. And for the next part, I will present to you the power function. Okay, so for the power function, this function is set to accept two types of integers, which are unsigned and signed integers. It uses num1 as base and num2 as exponent, which is integer power, integer num1 and integer num2. We will compute the integer value, that is num1 to the num2 power by using the loop function. The result of power operation will be moved to the EAX register, every other register that are used by this function are placed back to their initial states prior to exiting. So for user step 1, the user prompt the user to enter an integer value, which is enter a value for num1. Step 2, prompt the user to enter an integer value, enter a value for num2, which is the exponent, which is before num1 as base and num2 as exponent. Step 3, pass the user input value to the power function, which is we will call the power function, which is the coding for the power function. And step 4, after we have done the coding, the operation, we will print out the result. Num1 to the num2 power is the result. So we continue for coding for power unsigned, which is you can see that for the first coding, this is the output, the title, which is the power function unsigned. And then for this part, the user will need to insert the first number, which is num1 as base, and this is for second number, which is num2 as exponent. And then we will use the loop to create a power function. And then if there is no error, we will finish and print out the result. And this is the continuation of from the previous unsigned power coding. You can see that this we will show the total for num1 and num2, and then it will call back for the main menu after we have done the power function. Next, we will move for coding for power sign. You can see that it's the same as the unsigned, which is firstly we will output the title, which is the power sign function, and then the user will insert the first number and the second number. The difference is because it is a signed integer, the user may put positive and negative integer. And then the same as before, we will use a loop function to create the power function. And then as is because this is signed integer, we will use emul eax. And then we will get the output for num1 and the output for num2. And then we will print out the result and total for num1 and num2. And if there is no error, it will clear, and then we will return to the main menu. But actually, doctor, this is only for the power function. If we combine it with the main coding, which is uh, inserted together with all the other functions, it will be error. So that's why for the power function, there is no demonstration. So we are really sorry for that. And that's all. The blame is on me because the power function is my part. So I'm really sorry, doctor, and thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Yasin Farhani binti Akmal and my matrix number is 12000544. So for our group project, I'm going to explain on how we find the mean of a set of numbers. So firstly is we're going to find the input value of n. So that will come from the user input. And then also second, we're going to allow the user to kick in the value of the numbers itself. Third is we're going to sum up all of the numbers. And lastly, we're going to divide the sum of the numbers with the value of counter, or which is also equal to the value of n. Moving on straight away, an example of the mean function unsigned is for the unsigned integer. So we're going to get the n number of integers from the user, and then we're also going to get the number value from the user as well. And then later on, we're going to add the values of the numbers, but we're also going to use a loop. So for each number that's being added, then we're going to increment the counter. So later on, when we compare the counter, which will be moved to the is edge, we're going to compare the counter with the value of n. So if the ECX value is less than n, then the loop is going to continue. So later on, we're going to divide it by the value of the divisor, or which is also equal to the value of n or the counter. And then we're going to get the value of mean. So I'm going to show you the outcome in the calculator. So for example, we're going to show you the unsigned version. Sorry, 6. So we're going, let's say we're going to add 4 integers. So 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So that means that the dividend or the sum is equal to 10. The divisor is equal to 4. So the mean is equal to 2 with a remainder of 2. So next, we're going to show you for the signed version. So we click 2, number 6 again. So let's say we want 3 integers this time, but we want to add negative numbers. So 4, negative 5, and we're going to add a 6 in there. So that will lead to negative 1. We're going to have 5. 5 divided by 3 is equal to 1 with a remainder of 2. So that's going to be the outcome. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Then I will explain about the choice error message. There is three choice error message altogether, which are the first choice error message. The first label of choice error message will display the choice error message from the data choice error, and this message will come out. Choose error, produce again. After the choose error message for this label, it will immediately go to main 1 again. And for choose error message 1 label, the difference is it will call to main 2. And for choose error message 2, the difference is it will call to type of integer. If the user enter any choice that is not 1 until 9, for example, I input 10, then it will display the choice error message and please choose again. Then we'll be able to choose again. For end program, it will output end of calculator program, and it will display message like this. Thank you for using this calculator. Press any key to close this window. And then if we want to use the program again, we need to debug again the codes.
In conclusion, based on this project, we succeed in creating a calculator using assembly language. This calculator can do simple mathematical tasks such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. This calculator are also able to calculate the power of the numbers, the median of a set of numbers, and the mean of the set of numbers. This calculator are also able to accept both unsigned and signed numbers, so that the negative numbers can also be counted. That's all from us, Group 5, for our Assembly Language Calculator project. Thank you for watching our presentation.